who fucking killed everybody. I trust you. You do? Really? Oh my word. I mean, of course, I'm so sorry. I should have had faith in you. I really should have. I'm really bad at this. Yeah, you should have had a little faith in me. You have been telling me the truth, and I appreciate that. So it's fine. But thank you. Thank you so much. I can't believe I even doubted you for a second. Yeah. Look, that means a lot to me. It means so much. I mean, I'm sure what I did wasn't right, I know. I'm sure you don't think it was. I just want you to understand, alright? Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. For someone as good to me as you've been, I want you to at least please understand. What the fuck? What? I saw that. What? You don't have to forgive me. Just hear me out. Of course. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're a really good person. Much better than me. Thank you. Then very well. It's probably just better if I show you. There's a data block that contains all the logs that matter, but my family encrypted it because, well, it should be obvious why after you read it. You need to drop to the terminal and type decrypt block 7. Let me know once you've done it and I'll show you. I'm a friend with a murderer. That's okay. I accept it. I wonder how many people she killed. That's a lot of people. She killed everyone. Anyway. Use override terminal. Decrypt block 7, please. Block successfully decrypted. Alright, thank you, terminal. I shall quit. And I shall now talk to you. Very well. These are really hard for me to read. I haven't seen mine since I wrote them. I haven't seen my family's, well, ever. Well, I think I found here. I've added some. Just please read them. If you want to know the whole story, those entries will explain. Do they explain how you are now an AI? Considering that you killed everybody by removing life support, but you're still here because you're an AI form? Did you make yourself an AI? How did you gain the knowledge to do so? These are my questions. But I'll read these first. Hyo Min Young. It seems that in the year I spent visiting my parents, everything has gone to hell, and my husband's family without his knowing. Clearly, I never should have left. He has an idea, but he doesn't understand just how bad things have gotten. When I left, it all seemed under control. The pale bride would be of the right age to be married to the emperor soon enough, and we would be able to use that connection to bring favor to the family. A good plan, except it turns out the pale bride is not even close to ready for marriage. Age has nothing to do with it. It's the maturity that she lacks. When she first awoke, right before I left, she seemed a little confused, but that was hardly unexpected. She had a whole new family to get accustomed to, and it seemed obvious enough that anyone born so far in the past would have some difficulty adjusting to modern life. But this is far beyond that. There is something simply wrong with that child. When I got back, the first thing Young-suk's wife did was tell me all about how sorry she was for not being able to control the child. I rolled my eyes, as if a grown woman couldn't handle someone of her age. How are you going to raise my grandson like that? I asked. She was quiet and let me see the pale bride for myself. The first time I saw Young-suk try to get her to do something as simple as sort out his laundry, she wasn't just disobedient, she was openly defiant. When I stepped in to admonish her, it had absolutely no effect. All she did was argue back at me. I tried every approach I could think of, appealing to filiality, explaining how important a virtue obedience was, even trying to appeal to sentimentality, everything. She just kept saying the same thing, that it wasn't fair to make her do it. Here's the obvious concern, and it's what I said to her. Are you going to tell your husband he's not being fair when he wants something from you? I thought that would put some sense into her, but no, she just answered yes. There's no way this unruly child could possibly be marriageable. Not like this. She'd be sent back within a day. And with good reason. What man could possibly want a nightmare like her in his life? Mother. Huh. I don't really know what to say about her, even now. This is the first time I've read what she's wrote, and it's just, well, there's more. Here, read them for yourself. Mother. Mother. Dear Diary, the good news is, health-wise, I seem to be doing much better this month. I'm sure this isn't a permanent thing. It's happened before. I can't really remember how the doctor from the past explained it anymore, but he said it was pretty normal, and not something to get my hopes up about. Still, some days this month I actually had enough energy to want to move around. Not that I could move around, of course. I can't leave the house. A good girl shouldn't. This is what everyone keeps saying. But I have the energy to, at least, and that's something. The big news is that the woman who's supposed to be my adopted mother came back. I didn't really see her much before she left. I might as well have been meeting a new person. I wish I could say I had high hopes for her, that I had thought that maybe she'd be fine. That'd be a lie, though. I knew she'd be as bad as the rest the moment I saw her. And she was, of course, she was. She's even worse than sister-in-law. She gives these awful lectures. I can't even describe them. They're just horrible. She's that horrible. Okay. Let's see. Independent woman. Hyo Ming-jung. Okay. If you're so worried, why don't you just explain everything to her? Simply and rationally. Jung-soo asked me. My response was obvious. She's a woman. We're not particularly rational. He said. You know what I mean. I could hardly do it. But coming from a woman, perhaps she will understand that it's all for her own good. Maybe, I said, doubting it. But I tried anyway. She took her time arriving after I summoned her to my room. Can we speak? I asked her, trying to keep my voice calm. She glared, then snapped. Fine. I asked her to sit down, but she refused. Look, I said, trying to speak to her as an equal. I still didn't think my husband was right, but it was worth trying. I've been told you'd rather be called hyune-ae. Is that right? She said yes, bitterly, not giving me much to go off of. That's a very pretty name, I said. Thanks, she said, but her voice was still unfriendly. My parents gave it to me. I said, oh yeah, my parents gave it to me. I said, you must miss them very much. She nodded. I don't understand, hyune-ae. Were you so difficult with them too? No, she said. They were nice. They actually cared about me. They're nothing like you people. I sighed. I care about you, hyune-ae. You're part of the family. You're a Kim. Your parents are our ancestors, and I know they'd think It's very important that we raise you right. If you want to be a bad unfilial daughter and treat us without any respect, well, you wouldn't be the first. Do you really think an old woman like me really cares that much about your opinion of me? I thought maybe I'd try appealing to her selfishness. Her marriage is important to the family, but clearly she doesn't care about filiality. I can't say that word. I can't say a lot of words. It's you I'm worried about. Do you think any husband is really going to put up with the way you are for even a second? She kept glaring at me. That's all you keep talking about. Marriage, marriage, marriage. I'm 14. I'm 14 years old. What's wrong with you? Why does everything have to be about some man? Why do I have to marry somebody that you picked? She screamed at me. I remained calm. You're going to be a royal concubine, Hyune-ae. We're not dumping you off on just anyone. There's no better man. I don't know if you were already engaged in the past, but your parents would do the same if they could. If what's best for you. They would want this. No, they wouldn't, she shrieked. They wanted me to grow up. They wanted me to be an independent woman. That's what Mom and Dad thought was important. I don't want to be a concubine. I don't care about marriage. An independent woman? They want you to be a whore? I asked, my patience run as thin as anyone's could be. I didn't believe for a second my husband's ancestors were the monsters she was making them to be, and was sick of this. Get out, I snapped at her. Just get out. Are you just showing me that because you want to see more from her? That's not why? Yeah, I didn't think so. I don't know what to say. She was cruel. So cruel. Now that I've read her perspective, it doesn't change anything. Fine, she's actually believed what she was saying. That doesn't make all of it right. I hate her. I don't care if she's long dead. I don't care if I was the one who did it. I still hate her. I hate her, 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 I hate her! Oh jeez, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to work myself up like that. It's just, you don't pity her, do you? No, I don't really care. No. Good, me neither. That's what I had to live with. Reading what she wrote, she honestly believed that. It just reminds me of how I ended up thinking, how I completely gave up and believed her attitude. She tried to wear me down. She succeeded. She doesn't deserve pity, and I didn't deserve what she did to me. I could never forgive her. Ever. I'm really glad you understand. Sorry, I've calmed down now. It's just hard to think about, even now. I really do hate her. So how do you really feel? I'm kidding, you hate her, obviously. The new anxiety. Dearest Mother, my mother-in-law has relieved me of any responsibility for looking after the pale bride. As a matter of pride, I feel bad that a simple child is too much for me to handle, but I'm certainly glad she's not my problem anymore. Now I can put my individual attentions back where it belongs, onto my husband and his ambitions. Tell me though, Mother, because I know we didn't always get along that well, I was never that bad, was I? Sure, we were both happy when I moved out. Well, perhaps I wasn't happy right away. I was more scared, but I'm sure you were relieved to have some space. But you would have never given up on me, right? I was never that bad, was I? Deep down, I worry. My husband seems content to take his time to have children, and which is a decision I can certainly live with. But what about when we do? What if we have a daughter? Will I fail with her too? I've been telling myself that it's not me, it's her. She's a peculiar, I can't say that word either. Peculiarly. I know what the word is, I just can never pronounce it. Unruly child, and it's not ordinarily that bad. It's not right. Please, tell me I have nothing to worry about. Please? You know, I never did like her. I don't think you liked any of these people. You've kind of stated that by killing everyone. When I woke up, she was just this awful person who kept saying the most awful things. Never as bad as Mother, but still. I didn't read any of her letters when I was alive, of course, but you know what really surprised me? She made such an awful impression on my life. I hated her the most for so long. And she barely even ever mentioned me. All my suffering? It was just a minor distraction to her, nothing more. Insignificant compared to her man. There's one more from her that you should read. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know how to feel about her. There's just one thing that I keep thinking though. Just one thing. I have no idea what her name was. What do you mean? Oh, the young Sock's wife. Drastic measures. The pale bride picked the worst of all possible days to throw another one of her childish fits, refusing to even get dressed for her interview, and this one was with the Emperor himself. Not even my husband was able to get her to listen. He had to personally apologize himself for not being able to bring her as scheduled, and lied about a sudden illness. You have to do something about her, I said to my husband that evening. She's completely out of control. I know, he said. That is quite clear. He looked so worried. I hugged him and tried to comfort him. Everything would fall apart if something couldn't be done. She threatened to say something stupid and dangerous to the Emperor, and we were both scared that she might. Maybe it's time to consider doing something drastic, I said to him. He nodded. I know, he said. I can only think of one idea. I do not like it. I'd rather not. Even hitting her was far worse than I would have wanted. He explained his idea to me, and I agreed that it was terrible, and I didn't like it either, but it would stop her from arguing, stop her from ruining her own life. My husband was, as always, right. There was only one way. What does that mean? What the fuck? What'd they do? There was one big fight I had with her. The one that changed everything. The one I finally lost. My diary makes it sound really dramatic, I know. I was young at the time, but I really was. Just read it, it's exactly how it went. Okay. My last stand. This is before they broke her, I guess. Dear Diary. Everything managed to spiral out of control so quickly today. I wasn't planning on it happening this way. But here's the point where I have to make my stand, I guess. It sounds dramatic, but I won't just let them marry me off to some stranger. I won't. I won't let them. Just before dinner yesterday, Mother told me that I had to go do an interview with some man. The Emperor, I guess. For all I care, the way she put it was, I get a chance to see if he's a man you could fall in love with. Or something stupid like that, as if, I said in response, and spent the rest of the evening thinking about what I could possibly do to make it clear it wouldn't let them do this. This morning, after breakfast, sister-in-law showed up into my room. Good morning, she said. Today's a big day for you, isn't it? Mother-in-law wanted me to help you get dressed and all made up. You'll want to make a good first impression, after all. I glared at her and summoned up all my courage. No, I said. What? She asked. No, I'm not going. She left and Mother herself came in. This was it. I told myself that this was the big moment. I'm not going, I said. Before she could say anything, I'm not going to get dressed up. I'm not going to meet him. I'm definitely not going to get married. I shouted. For a moment, she said nothing and didn't move. Then she left, too, without saying a word. I thought that would feel good, but it didn't. It just made me worry more. I couldn't have possibly won that easily, I thought, and I hadn't, of course. After a few minutes, she returned with father, who looked incredibly angry. Min Young says, "You're refusing to get ready for your interview," he said. "Yeah," I stammered, not used to talking to him. I won't go, and I won't get married." He walked over in just 2 strides, then glared at me for a second. I had no idea what he was going to do. Then he slapped me in the face so hard that it knocked me over. "Yes, you will," he said. "I'll drag you there kicking and screaming if I have to." My face in so much pain, I forced myself to sit back up. "I won't," I said, bracing myself for if he hit me again. He did. "Yes, you will," he said. I couldn't keep this up. It already hurt so much, I couldn't just brave that out. Then it came to me. "If you make me do the interview," I said, "I'll tell the Emperor that you've been conspiring behind his back." It was all I could think of, and all I could do was cross my mind. And all I could do was cross my fingers and hope that the threat worked. It had to. He glared at me, and in that moment I knew it worked. The two of them looked at each other, and then they both left together. That was 3 hours ago. I don't know what's going to happen now, and I think my face is swollen. It still hurts. And I didn't want it to go that way. So that's me, making my stand. Hey, it probably didn't end well. I'll get to that, but for now, please just look at everything else first. That's why I gave up. That's why I wanted to kill them so much.